All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us at the Challenge Fandom podcast. Of course, it's myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes, drinking coffee right now, and then Tony Lance following up suit with his cup. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us. We're doing our exit interviews because Challenge USA had their finale, and we get to talk to people, and we're going to do it.
We get to talk to people.
So we're going to take advantage of that. So what you guys are going to see is coming up is going to be us talking with Ben and Enzo. And then we will be talking with Desi and Alyssa. And then finally, the winners, Danny and Sarah. Uh-oh. Sorry, got a little distracted because our son Luke is stoked to talk to him too. You might hear him in the background screaming.
Very excited. He is very excited. He has a lot to say.
He was on the fence last night without that final, and I can understand that. But
we'll talk more about that in our recap.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit. First and foremost, though, I'm fucking stoked. We get to talk to 6 different people today. Let's go.
Yes, I am excited about that. I will admit, I am a little bummed that we don't get to, this whole season, we have been writing so fucking hard for Dom, for Cayla, for Tyson and Angela, and all 4 of them are not going to be on exit interviews today. And I'm like, what the heck? This is the moment, this is why you do exit interviews, to meet the people that you've been riding so hard for all season. And then, of course, and not to say we haven't others. Like we were going super hard for Danny.
Yeah,
all
Danny's
season.
my number one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and Desi, we went super hard for Desi, and Alyssa and Justine, all of that. But it's just it's sad that they're not going to be part of these exit interviews. But it happens. People have things to do. I know Kayla's going on vacation right now. They're all just busy doing stuff, and we get it. Life gets in the way. But
with that being said, you know what I wasn't bummed about?
What?
Seeing Danny pulling out the DBZ at the finish line.
Dude,
Ooh.
How did I not know that he is a Dragon Ball Z fan?
I don't know. I told you I've talked to him about it.
Oh, you did. You did tell me that. I thought you would talk to somebody else about it too, though.
I've talked to everyone about that. DBZ
My exact
is
words.
live.
When it happened, my exact words were very quickly, awesome, I'm really glad Danny won. And then I think Rick just fell in love with Danny a little bit more.
Dude, you should have heard our house when it happened. All of a sudden, he's just like, yes. I was like, oh my God.
Dude, look, the only way I could root for Danny more is if he played for the Falcons at some point. That's the only way I could hype him up more.
I mean, it's the Cowboys. It's not, it's not like you play for the Saints.
That is true. I'll give him that.
You got to find the happy medium there, right?
Even though my fantasy team was held together with their name by Enzo, the Meow Meows, let's be honest, Danny was the team captain there.
So we get to talk to Enzo.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
we get to talk to Benzo. We get to talk to Ben and Enzo together,
which is
at the same
awesome.
time. That is kind of awesome.
It is. It really is.
I'm really excited to learn more about their friendship and how that formed and became what it was, to a thing where it was the Benzo and the, what else did they call him? The
Bald Eagle Brothers.
The Bald Eagle Brothers.
Yeah.
There you go. At first I thought it was something about beards, but I was like, no, because Enzo doesn't have a beard.
I'm going to be honest. Their relationship reminds me a little bit of the Green Acre song. He's country, she's city. Well, Enzo city, I should say. You know what I mean?
They don't seem like they would fit together like that, but they do. They really do.
I have a feeling that is going to be the most chaotic interview that we will have ever done. The two of them together on a Zoom call.
Right?
I feel it's like a recipe for chaos, but I am absolutely here for it.
The energy is going to be insane in that room.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I kind of want to have them both on for an unplugged, get them for
together.
An hour. Yeah, together. See what kind of fucking nonsense we can get going. Because I bet it would be hot.
It would definitely be hot.
Doo-doo pies everywhere.
Doo-doo pies.
And that's one thing I'm definitely going to have to bring up to Enzo. Because look, Tyson was very quotable with the very over-the-top bravado about how great he was.
Right.
But Enzo was just delivering solid one-line quotes about scenarios all the time and some insults here and there. But
yes, absolutely.
I mean, just the whole, that motherfucker looks like Jesus.
Over here looking doing whatever he wants, looking like Jesus Christ. I was like, oh my God, Enzo.
Taking your CDs, your investments, your 401ks.
If you come into
Pennies
the arena,
to
I'm robbing you. I was like, oh my gosh. No, I'm excited to talk to them. that's one of the ones that I like. I feel bad for the situation because, like, with Ben being DQ'd on an injury right before the final starts, like he didn't even get to go. He didn't get the horn. He didn't get nothing. And so I do feel bad about that. Enzo, obviously we know the situation. My biggest hope is that, Enzo doesn't come with a bunch of excuses and that he just kind of owns what happened in that final. And that's really all I'm really hoping for from Enzo.
Yeah, just accountability.
It's just that accountability. And, the situation sucks. But I am excited to talk to them because aside from what happened in the final, I like Enzo a lot. I like his energy. He brought a lot of comedy to this season. So I am excited to meet him. Ben, I'm really excited to meet. I feel like he gets a bad rap, especially from the Survivor stuff. So I'm just really excited to kind of like be in the same space and be able to look him eye to eye and, just get a feel for his energy that way. So hopefully it goes well. And then right after that, we've got, what is it? Desi and Alyssa?
Desi and Alyssa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to be honest. We got to sit down with Desi for about 2.5 hours. If you haven't heard the episode, we'll try to link it so you guys can check it out.
Yeah,
it was a great interview. Desi's fucking amazing.
Dude,
and it was heartbreaking what happened to her.
Oh my God. I legit cried like actual tears. And okay, that's not true. I was going to say, I can't remember the last time that I cried actual tears for like a challenge show. The last time I did was when CT won Double Agents and he hugged TJ like that. And I was just, woo, I was like a freaking ball baby mess. But like for people that I haven't been watching like my whole life, like CT and TJ, and to see Desi sitting in the sand on shore after they got picked up from the boat and see her crying in her confessional to the point where she had like tears not just streaming down her face, but they were going down her chest and like everything. It was just like, it was heart-wrenching. And she didn't deserve it. She deserved to run that final, and I'm really sad that she didn't get a chance to.
There's definitely yelling in our house when that went down. From all viewing, including the screaming infant. Although I might have been hunger, I don't know if she was necessarily specifically annoyed at the situation, but I feel that she was.
Yeah.
I feel like she was probably annoyed with how they handled the Angela situation, but that's for a different episode, not this one. That's the round table.
We'll go over that on our round table because I'm so like I'm in the middle of the road on that whole situation. But yes, we will be talking about that on our round table, our recap, our what is it?
Round cap.
Our round caps
and retables.
Retables, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
make sure you keep an eye out for that. But yeah,
I'm stoked to talk to Alyssa too, honestly, because like Alyssa's had a really great season.
Okay.
And kind of a shitty edit too.
Yeah.
I think, exactly. I do agree with that. And I will be the first to say that at the start of the season, and even like when the cast spoilers came out and I saw that Alyssa was going to be on Challenge USA, I was like, but why though? Like she didn't do that good in Big Brother. Like it was just, I felt like her coming on Challenge USA was just going to be very like lackluster. And she shocked the hell out of me, to be honest. Like she had strategy. She had mental like fortitude. She had physical. She won an elimination. She won a daily, maybe even 2 dailies. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I think just one. But
stats and info.
I'm pretty sure 2.
I'm pretty sure she won 2 as well.
100%. Pretty sure 2.
But so like she totally impressed me and shocked me from what I had originally expected when I heard that she was going to be on this season. So I'm excited to talk to her too and just kind of see what she was feeling throughout this.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's without question, I'm most excited to talk about Danny. I've been rooting for him since day one, just because you get to see a pro football player on the challenge. Fuck yeah, I'm rooting for that dude. So it was even more rewarding, not as rewarding as it was for him and Kiki, obviously, but to see him finish first, I was like, fuck yeah.
Dude, the call.
Oh, the call.
The freaking call at the end of the episode when he calls her from the confession room.
Before Karina starts crying, let's go ahead and get in here because we got Ben and Enzo coming up right now. Guys, Ben, Enzo, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really do appreciate taking time out your day to hop on with us.
Thank you, guys.
My name's Ricky Hayes. This is my wife, Karina, and then Tony, our other co-host. We're part of the Challenge Fandom podcast. If you couldn't tell by the lovely fucking banner we got behind us.
Beautiful.
Guys, first of all, thank you guys, like I said, for joining us. We really do appreciate it. I know it was probably a hectic night rewatching everything last night, and so I know we were kind of limited on time, so I'm going to dive in. Ben, this first one's for you. With being medically DQ'd right before the final happened, and then having I don't know if they let you sit there and kind of watch part of it, or if you were immediately kind of taken off set, but seeing the final now, how do you feel like you would have done in it?
I think I probably would have done pretty well. With my shoulder being messed up, the swimming probably would have been the hardest part for me. But after I got, to the land, I think I probably would have done good. The mountains are where I live. I do that for fun. I go camping for fun, walking through snow for fun, and play Sudoku for fun. So, but in the end, it was the right call on their part. They were looking out for my health. I was just looking out to win. So I'm glad they were there to stop me from screwing up my shoulder even more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I actually had a question kind of leading off of that, and this is actually for both of you. Looking back on the season and coming in, before you came into the season, how did you do in the season compared to how you thought you would? Enzo, we'll start with you.
I think I did great until the end. And I got to live with that for the rest of my life, and I hate it. I hate it. Like I said, I was definitely in spots that I'm never. Yeah, I'm a kid from Bayonne, New Jersey. I don't have the skill sets as some of these cats on this show have. If they would have told me it was this much swimming, I probably would never even did the thing if they told me this in the beginning. But again, my scrappiness, socially, the way I know how to maneuver and finagle through things. So I'm proud of getting to another finals. I'm proud of my 3 elimination wins. With a lot of people, like I said, everything I win, they find an excuse on what I won. When I lose, I suck. I'll be the first one to admit it. I suck at a lot of things. But when I win, it's always an excuse why I won this and why I won that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I got to live what I did to Desi, and I hate that. I really do. I hate that. I broke her heart, and I didn't watch yesterday. You couldn't have paid me to watch it. I wasn't watching that. So, but I've apologized to Desi, and I'll keep doing it. She deserves that. And she, like I said, she could hate me. She, whatever it is, I deserve whatever. I deserve whatever she wants to feel towards me. I deserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Ben, how did you do compared to how you thought you were going to do on the season?
I thought I did pretty good. I just wanted to make it to the end and get to the final, and so coming up short like that sucked. I was close winning a couple challenges. I hate losing. So, but it all worked out. It was a lot of fun being able to compete on the challenge itself and do all these great challenges that you see on TV and meet TJ. And, it was just the whole experience was really rewarding. So it was neat.
So I know that despite the fact that we're in this room with you right now, we did get fairly limited Benzo time. Was there anything else that was on the show that happened that just didn't get shown through the edit while it was airing?
I think a lot of it was just us sitting around BSing, right? Probably some of the stuff they couldn't air, which I'm thankful for. We sat around like 2 high schoolers just sitting around BSing, telling old war stories from, being kids and messing around the streets to, being 20-year-olds and making mistakes. And it was really relatable talking with Enzo, and his stories were pretty similar, and he's just a great storyteller. It was fun. It was fun to be around him.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stories we told by the fire, making the fire. It was just our dynamic was funny. It was like a kid from the streets, and then him a cowboy from the mountains, but us just gelling together, man. It was funny, man. It was funny. It was funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Now, I got to know, was it like an immediate connection? Like you guys knew you were going to be friends off top, or it took some time to warm up around each other?
No, I think we were we were bunkmates. He was the only one that stuck around, and it was funny. It was pretty fun. But once we got towards the end, it gets pretty stressful. You're just trying to think about how you're going to get to the money and stuff like that. And the game there's so minimal amount of people left, right? And so the game still has to continue at that point. And having someone to kind of talk to about out of game stuff, but still like we related to each other with our like in-game thoughts, and so it was just nice to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ben, I actually had a question for you. When you were DQ'd in the final, you got kind of what the fans call the TJ goodbye, where it's, I'm sorry that you're leaving and I'm sure we will see you in the future. So I'm curious, would you do the show again if you were called for another season or even like a season of the flagship?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had it. Like I said, I had a blast. I would love to do it again. I'd love to compete, and everybody puts their heart and soul into this. Like all like the builders of all these crazy challenges that we do, and they sit around with a piece of paper and they're like, how can we mess with these guys? To a point where it's like it really tests you as like a human. I can relate to it like through training and boot camp and stuff like that, but there's a lot of that similarity to it that really tests you as a human and as a person. And you kind of got to dig deep inside of yourself and like, what am I doing here? And do I want to accomplish this? And then if you don't, what are the ramifications from it and stuff? And how can you take that though and make you stronger? Right. Like, okay, I screwed up at this point. Like, I know I won't let that happen again. You know what I mean? And being pushed like that for me is fun. That adrenaline, that test. And, you get thrown in with all these great players of these games where it's like social chess and you're trying to maneuver through them and their story that they're writing. And it's just a neat experience. And for me, I'm blessed to be able to get to participate in these things. Right. And that's the reality of it because, I'm not like, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. So yes, I'd do it again.
So Enzo, I want to ask you this too, with a little bit of a caveat. If you decide you wanted to go back, are you going to practice a little bit more on the swimming before you head back?
Yeah, no, like I feel like I said, I couldn't watch that yesterday, but like what I did in that water, it's embarrassing for me. And even though I'm not good at it, I never claimed to be a long distance swimmer or what this and that.
Yeah.
Swimming pools or whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. I never took lessons. I don't know. I never had a phobia of the water until I got on the challenge. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if at this point, I don't feel like I'm worthy enough to even be called back. That's how I just feel. But if I was to get a call back, of course, you would have to train in those aspects that you're weak at. You have to, or else you're going to just look like a big dummy again on TV. So that's what I would do. Again, look, I'm my biggest fan, but I'm my biggest critic too. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Trust me
Yeah.
So this definitely, it's a hard pill to swallow for me. Definitely what I did to Desi, and I hate it. I really do. I hate it, and I think about it every day. So I would definitely train in those weak areas. Definitely.
Well, and I want to say this, Enzo. I think that as us being longtime challenge fans, we've seen a lot of people that have had shitty first outings, right?
Yes. Especially in the swimming department.
In the swimming.
By far not the first one to struggle in that area. Yeah.
I think that, even like the people they call the GOAT, like Bananas, he got eliminated on the very first episode of his first season. So he had a much shittier outing than you did on that. And he ended up winning 8 of them, right? Or 7 of them.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but I guess really my thing is I think you're going hard on yourself, and I understand why, being your own biggest critic, but I think you also have to give yourself some credit. I mean, look, there's not a lot of people out there that can say they've gone to 2 Big Brother finals and a challenge final. Yeah. That list is pretty fucking short.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say too. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say too. So I am my biggest fan. I know that's not an easy feat. My 3 first shows, 3 finals, 2 different shows. So I'm very proud of that stuff. Again, I am hard on myself, and I hate the way I ended it because I really liked what I did on this season until the very end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, the rope swing or whatever, this and that. Okay, that was another hiccup too. But again, it was me jumping into the water, where I never did before. So it kind of stuck with me mentally because I never jumped 40 feet into water. So that kind of shook me a little bit. I was like, I swallowed a whole bunch. I was like, what? I'm doing something fucking wrong. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I gotta really save myself here on this fucking thing. What's going on? Put a harness on me or some shit. You know what I mean? And then I ain't gotta do nothing,
Right?
Well, I do want to give you credit though, because I think you had the most quotable lines of the whole season. Everything from doo-doo pies to Dude looks like a fucking bird. We got Jesus Christ over here.
Jesus Christ, that was my favorite one.
No, and it's only an hour. I only get an hour. I wish they gave me more airtime. It's only an hour show. You know what I'm saying? The shit that I was saying.
Yeah.
And look, I don't know if you guys have seen. You probably haven't. We did a fantasy draft. And Enzo, you're on my team. Got the whole team named after you. It's the Meow Meows.
That's what I'm trying to say. Let's go.
You know what I mean? So look, I'm going to put this out there. There was a lot of, I think all of us are kind of on the same page that we felt going in that you guys weren't all going to do as good as you did. And you guys all outpaced our expectations on this. So, I mean, I get being hard on yourself, but also realize that it's a reason that this is considered one of the hardest contestant or competitive reality TV shows, right? And we saw that last night. You weren't the only one that quit.
No,
you know what I mean?
True, so too. I understand the way I quit because I had a partner. Everyone else quit on their own, so I understand. I get the criticism. I get it. But like you said, only 2 people finished. A lot of people quit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And
the irony of Angela saying that I kept sleeping, and she got evicted, or she got kicked out from sleeping. You know, that the irony of that is fun.
That is good.
I didn't even realize that. That didn't click. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, I just I have a question in regards to you both were able to come in with people from your previous seasons. Ben, you had like a bit of a double shot because you had Desi from your original season, and then you also had Sarah and Tyson as well. And then Enzo, you were coming in with David. Like, how was that to come in with sort of not a built-in safety net, but a starter alliance kind of thing?
Ben, you want to go?
Well, Desi just texted me, so she is fantastic. I love Desi. With being I didn't know who was coming on this season, so seeing Desi obviously was pretty cool. And then having Sarah there was cool too, and even at points like having Tyson there was cool, right? Like, but you just have to play the game that, it's done. You can't just stick with your alliances or your past.
Totally.
And obviously, like in a game like this, even past show experiences were brought up, even through not only our show, but Big Brother, and even Love Island, right? I think Amazing Race were the only one that didn't suffer from that with the 3 of them.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. It was neat to answer your question.
Yeah, as far as for me, like when I saw everybody there, I was like, wait, I didn't kind of like because there was a bunch of people from one season of BB. And I was like, yo, are they going to gel together? I'm on the outs of that. And that's like BB. So I'm like, then I saw Dave. I was like, all right, that's my guy. But I voted him out on all stars. I was like, shit, now I got to mend this real quick. I got to be quick with this now. So I'm like, I thought I was in a bad spot from the get-go. But then I started to see like, wait a minute. These people got beef here. This the animosity going on there. They want to get back the cookout. I was like, you know what? Maybe I could push this one this way, push that one that way. And I think I am in a good spot, So I actually kind of like, I guess, dumb luck. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually in a decent spot here. They're going to go after each other, kill each other. Let me just step back a little and just let them go at it. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, I liked Dave being there because I did want to tell my side of the story to him, to his face. And we mended a real good friendship. And I'm really good friends with Dave now to this day. So that's my guy.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Love it, guys.
I love it.
One quick thing, then we got to wrap is you got to talk to Cody. Get your boy Cody on here with you, man.
Yes.
I'm trying. He was just like, I don't know. I think he might I don't think he likes the physicalness, but I was like, yo, come on, bro. Let's go. Look at me. Now I got to the finals, bro. Let's go. Now you got to one-up me now. You got to one-up me.
Guys, Ben, Enzo, we want to thank you guys so much for the time. We'll be reaching out. We'll want to do like more of a long form interview where we take some time if you guys are open to it.
Yeah.
So we'll reach out to you on social media and see if we can set something up. But otherwise, guys, congratulations on the season.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you both. And just know that we're going to be saying doo-doo pies for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
Doo-doo pie. Let's go. That finale was a doo-doo pie for me, straight up. That was a whole big doo-doo pie right there. That was hot goat shit. Doo-doo pie.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys. We'll
Have a
chat
great
soon.
day.
Take care.
Bye.
Desi, Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to meet you, Alyssa. Desi, it's been so long since we've talked to you.
I know. You guys are so fun too.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. First of all, we want to congratulate you guys both for making it this far in the season.
Yeah.
Alyssa, that was a heartbreaking elimination to see, and it was tough, especially going against your friend. I know how hard it must have been for you. We saw how hard it obviously was for Angela, but you gave one hell of an effort this season, and we just wanted to say congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And we definitely hope that what TJ said at the end of that interview comes true, which is this is not the end, and we will see you again.
We better.
Yeah.
I tried my best. I tried my best.
You did great, honestly. You had a really great season.
It was super impressive.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there. So go ahead, Karina.
So my first question is actually for you, Alyssa. Being eliminated right before the final like that, how do you think you would have done in the final? Did you get a chance to watch it?
I have not watched it yet.
Okay.
Obviously, we talked about, like, I've talked to people about it and everything. It's easier for like Desi and I to say, oh man, I would have killed that, or I would have done so well. I don't know how well I would have done at it, but I know I don't quit. I have that mental toughness in me. I may not be the strongest or the fittest girl in there, but the mental toughness, I just don't quit. I always try no matter what. So I feel like sometimes if you don't have that mental toughness, it doesn't matter how physically strong you are. So I can say I think I would have done well, but I don't really know just because of the weather and the circumstances and what they had to deal with. So, but I definitely would have tried my hardest. I will say that.
I was going to ask, are both of you guys familiar with Sudoku?
Yeah. Familiar.
Okay, perfect. That was my one on that. I wanted to make sure you guys were good.
Yeah.
I didn't know people didn't know how to play that, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of
it's kind of weird.
Kind of threw me off.
I'm not great at it, but I know how you play it.
Right. It's been around long enough that, like, I picked up an airplane magazine.
Well, and that's what I was saying. I was like, I get not playing it, but how do you not know about it at this point? It's been around for a while. Desi, I mean, I don't know what to say. That was probably one of the most heartbreaking scenes we've seen in a long, long time in the challenge.
I legit cried.
Yeah,
she cried.
She did.
I was like bawling my eyes out when you were crying. I was like, this is not fair.
There was a lot of yelling in our house.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. I guess my first question in regards to this is, did you get a chance to watch the final all the way through?
Yeah. So I was watching sort of at a watch party, so I couldn't hear everything. And actually in this moment where Enzo quits, the TV literally froze for probably 3 minutes.
Oh,
so
no.
I saw the part where I started pleading, but by the time we got the TV back working again, like, TJ had moved on, which was probably a blessing in disguise, because I probably would have cried again as well. Just because in that moment, like, I don't think I've ever been so devastated in my life. I kind of said this earlier, that I feel like I had such an evolution this season, where I went into the season not feeling like I was a competitor. And by the time we got to the final, I was literally in my head, like, this is my final to lose. Like, obviously I'm going to win this. Not obviously, but I just like,
you have to believe in yourself.
I had to become confident, right?
Yeah.
So I was literally like, as long as I can get past this first leg, like, nobody's going to quit first leg. So it might actually be great that I have Enzo this first leg, because I know he's going to quit eventually, but no way in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So when he did, I don't, there are no words. Like, he literally ripped $250,000 out of my hand from where I was sitting in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask this because it wasn't really clear, because it looked like you guys were really close to Danny, and I believe he was partnered with Cayla at that point when he quit. Were you guys relatively close to shore at that point, or were you guys still quite a ways out?
I don't know that Enzo even like really moved. Like, I would, because Enzo did not want me to help him. I was like, Enzo, grab my foot. I'll pull you to shore. Enzo, why don't you try doing your arms like this? Because I never saw his arms come out of water. So I'm like, I don't think he's swimming. And it felt like every time I took 3 strokes and I looked back, it always felt like Enzo was like even further from shore every time I looked back. So no, we were not close to shore. We had not been in that water like any length of time, really. So for him to quit that early on, again, I can't even wrap my head around it.
Oh man, that's just heartbreaking.
You know, one thing I did want to ask is, coming into this show, obviously there was a lot of history, especially for you, Alyssa, with as much of the Big Brother 23 cast that there was. But did you make friends with people or get to know people that you came in thinking, I'm not going to get along with this person? Like, was there like a surprise friendship or someone that you carried on with since?
I don't think surprise. I mean, the closest people, like on the girls' side, who I'm closest with is Angela and Cachet. And I click with them like instantly, I feel like. So I'm not surprised. It's more so like I'm not surprised I'm not close with Sarah. That's just not the kind of vibe or person the energy I want in my life. No, I'm not surprised at the friendships I have or like that I've made. I love getting to meet new people. I'm a very outgoing person. I love hanging out, getting to know people, talking with a bunch of people. So it was just really nice to be able. Speaking of, Tyson's FaceTiming me right now.
You tell him to come on here. He missed his exit interview.
Right? Tyson, tell him I'm sorry you don't do the interview. But I'm doing one. Because I mean, we're at totally different points in our lives. And it's like he has kids and he's married and I'm 25, 26 doing these shows. And we like really bonded, especially outside of the house. Him and Angela are the people I talk to the most. So maybe Tyson is an answer for that.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. I like it. That's really awesome.
Desi, I know we already asked you that question in the original interview, but if you wanted to go ahead and go back over it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't shocked. I thought I'd bond with survivors just because we kind of have common ground. I did not go into this show like having a true relationship with anyone. Sarah's, again, the relationship that shocks me the most. And watching her on TV, like she actually kind of is insufferable on TV. But in real life, like I love Sarah. And especially outside the game, I love Sarah. I think, unfortunately, like Alyssa was on her bad side pretty early on.
Right.
If you're on Sarah's bad side, like, yeah, you're not going to like her.
Yeah.
But again, Sarah, gave me that pep talk like day 3 that completely changed my perspective on the game. And she's still one of the people I talk to like multiple times a week. So she's my shocker. Never in a million years did I think I'd be friends with Sarah Lucina. But I love Sarah Lucina. I love her.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So clearly the two of you had two of the more dominant overall seasons for the females that were out there. What kind of prep did you do like coming into the challenge? And I know Desi, you did touch a little bit on our interview as well, but feel free to go over again.
For me, I mean, it was 6 months after Big Brother. It was very mentally draining. I barely ate. I had to eat the slop and everything. I lost a lot of weight. I mean, I was even thinner than I am now. So that was I was a little insecure going in, but I did. I have a weightlifting coach I've had for years. So I trained with him a lot. Every day I would try to do puzzles or math equations, and kind of just have a daily thing. I will say the one thing I wish I did more was more running, more cardio. I was lifting weight to gain the weight and the strength that I felt like I left from Big Brother. So I will say the one thing that I wish I did more was more cardio and running. I was dead after that mini final. I was cramping. I'm like, what is this feeling? She's like, you just ran a lot.
What?
Yeah.
I would have been like Cayla, stuck getting up the rope. So mad props to both of you on that. Go ahead, Desi. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, I work out every day kind of at baseline, and I didn't have a ton of like lead time going to this. I know some people knew months and months in advance. I think I knew like a month in advance. So I increased my running because I knew that like endurance is always a thing on the finals or at least at some point in the challenge. I started trying to do pull-ups. It's something I've always struggled with because I felt like I was going to have to hold my body weight at some point in the challenge. And then I added swimming to my workout routine. So that's
nice.
I already, and then I did a few puzzles. I downloaded some puzzle apps, and if I had free time, I did puzzles, but I also was working like a maniac pre-show. So I
right.
didn't have that much time.
Right. Absolutely.
I was going to say, once the Big Brother alliance kind of fell apart, Alyssa, and it really kind of just boiled down to, I think it was you and Angela, David, and Enzo. At that point, was it pretty obvious that you guys were going to try to start working with the Survivor guys?
No. What came obvious was we could just tell all the girls were very, very close. And we already could tell, like me and Angela and Tyson were talking one night and we were like, do you think we could get Cayla on our side? Do we think we could get Cash? And we could just tell I mean, Cayla was like this with Sarah. Justine and Cash were from Survivor. Desi was close with all of them. So I just knew there was no way we're going to get the girls on our side. And me and Angela kind of just sat and thought about it. Once she was in power, she's like, wait a second, there's 2 people that have to vote somebody in. If we have all of the guys on our side, who cares if this Fab Five wants to take us out? Because if it's a girl elimination and we just have the guys agree not to put us in, we won't be thrown in. Right. So it wasn't like the aspect of there's no more Big Brother. It was more so we are not close with the girls. So we're going to have to do a different route and go with the guys. And it worked out.
Right.
My follow-up on that is like, Desi, it seemed like you found out about that alliance a couple days after it got formed and then kind of got roped into it. Was it a tough decision for you to say, no, you know what, I am going to ride with, which we didn't even know about, the Triple D alliance of you, Dom, and Danny. I'm going to ride with them, or I'm going to stick it out with the girls. What was that battle like?
Yeah, that was tough only because I felt so backstabbed by my tightest alliance, Triple D alliance, tight from very, very early. First, we were Survivor strong, and then Survivor started going rogue. We became Triple D very early on, and we consulted each other every vote and every decision. Like, those were my guys. And on the flip side of that, like, I kind of got put into this alliance with Cachet that I didn't know I was going to be in, but Cachet and I were never really playing the game together. There was never a point in the game where like Cachet and I were having really any conversation at all, but especially not game conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was only hard for me to go along with Danny and Dom because I felt so betrayed. And I felt so betrayed to the point where I was like, am I just have I been getting played this whole time? And have I thought I had this alliance that never actually existed? So that was really the only reason I even fought Cachet so hard, was because I just, at that point, was totally confused as to where I stood with who I felt like were my 2 closest allies in the game.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Yeah. I was actually just going to say, Desi, I know we asked you this when we did our Unplugged episode with you, but, we'll go over it again. If you guys got the call to come back and do if they did a season 2, or if you got the call for like flagship, Alyssa, would you consider doing the challenge again?
I would if the timing was right. It was really rewarding. I liked the experience so much more than Big Brother. I just feel like I accomplished so much that I didn't think I could.
Yeah.
I always said Big Brother and the Challenge are the only 2 shows I would ever do. So I definitely would do it again. I mean, we didn't know that CBS was going to have the challenge. So if MTV called, I would. MTV called me and tried to have me come on for this new one. But it was too late of a notice, 24-hour notice.
Oh, geez.
Sure, let me drop everything.
Yeah, literally 24-hour notice. They were like, hey, Alyssa, want to go back? I would do it again if the timing was right.
Right, absolutely.
So 48 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
72.
72, yeah. Sorry for the agape expression. Like, things just clicked in my head on some things on that. But one thing I did want to know is there something that wasn't shown in the edit that you thought really would have helped explain your gameplay more so throughout the season?
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, Desi, about you. For me, I wish they showed the Money Alliance, because it was me, Cayla, and Angela, and Tyson who started the Money Alliance. Yeah. And that's why me and Kyle were going to Tyson and Angela about it. That's when it was really formed. And I feel like that makes sense as to why certain people were working with certain people, because we were the core of that. So now whoever wins the next one, hey, we have money, you guys have money, we're not putting in people with money. Like, you didn't have to explain anything else. Else, you're like, hey, the people with money aren't going after. And it was like, oh, that makes sense. I can't go against that. So I feel like that I wish was shown more, maybe, because then maybe there was more strategic in it. But I know early on it's harder to show strategic moves because there's so many storylines. But I'm used to Big Brother where it's like all strategically.
Yeah.
Edited big drama. So I don't know. I don't know about.
Yeah, I feel like there was so much not seen. And as somebody who took a while to get into the Money Alliance, I outside saw the Money Alliance forming. So I was also like, I got to get inside this Money Alliance. So I do agree with Alyssa that that wasn't shown. Triple D Alliance obviously wasn't shown. I don't feel I feel like I was also really close with Justine and Cayla very early on. I feel like that wasn't shown. So I feel like there were a lot of relationships and alliances and partnerships that were forming along the way that, again, I feel like even watching this back, I'm like, how do the viewers even understand what's happening now? Because they have no idea about these relationships. And even this Alyssa vote, I think, is confusing to people because they're like, oh, I thought Dom was working with her. But again, like Dom and me and Danny and like Cayla was tight in that group and Justine was tight in that group. Like there was an alliance with us, with Justine and Cayla before there was an alliance with Alyssa.
Right.
And so I feel like there's just so many relationships that aren't shown that it just makes it really hard to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially when we like the first 4 or 5 episodes, it was all show alliance. You know, we're going to run these show lines, except for like, and then obviously with the Big Brother kind of broke down.
Boring, right?
right. It was like, but then Survivor and Amazing Race were working together, which is how we got tight with Cayla.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then Justine kind of separated herself from Love Island. And then Cash kind of came back around once all the other Love Island girls were gone. So there's just so much, but I understand it's an hour episode and they can't show everything.
Absolutely. Gosh, that's
the bummer.
Well, I mean, I know we're running a little bit long on time right now, but Tony, do you have any follow-up questions that you wanted to?
I mean, I think we've covered a lot of them. I mean, I guess getting right down to basics, out of all of the challenges, like the dailies, the like everything that you've done on the challenge, what is that one moment that you're like, I did this? This was me.
My elimination with Leo. I was so proud. And they were like, are you nervous? Are you excited? I was like, I'm genuinely so excited to go in elimination. I wasn't nervous, not because I thought I was going to win. I just really wanted the full challenge experience. I wanted to win a daily. I wanted to win an elimination. And wanted to make the final. So I was really excited just to do it. And I felt like that was like the hardest elimination we've had so far at that point. And everyone was betting on me and Leo losing it. People were thinking about volunteering to go in to get money. Like no one really thought we were going to win, especially when it had to do with height as well.
Yeah.
So to have the odds against us and to be so calm during it and really like doing that with Leo, I really pushed myself. And it was the coolest feeling when he blew the horn. Like I never felt that with Big Brother before. Like it was such a good feeling.
That's awesome.
That's so
awesome.
cool. I love that.
And I will agree with Alyssa on that. Like, even as watching from the stand, watching them do that challenge, I will admit I was not the biggest Alyssa fan. But after that, and even like I literally feared for Alyssa's life at one point when she was standing on Leo's shoulders.
Yes.
So even me as someone who was like, I want Alyssa to go home. Like I was so proud of her and I was emotional in that moment because I saw the fight in her. So I think that like Alyssa, you played a great game and you should be super proud because even me who was like send her home I was happy.
That's so awesome. Really quick, I have one last I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Alyssa? I'm sorry.
Or I thought it was Desi's answer about her favorite moment. No?
Yeah, I was going to follow up with that.
That was Desi's answer about Alyssa's.
My favorite moment was winning that challenge alongside David.
Okay.
Because the excitement, it qualified me for TJ's final. I've said this before and I'll say it again, like literally 60% of African Americans cannot swim. And so to have like 2 African American contestants win a swimming challenge, I think was just like representing something larger culturally that, I don't know, for me felt really special in the moment.
I love it.
I love that. And that was pretty much what I was going to ask. Cause I know when we talked on our Unplugged, we had interviewed you like a couple of days before that episode aired, and then the episode aired, and I was like, "Dang it, we should have pushed this interview out a couple more days, and we could have talked about this challenge." But that's awesome. I love that, and that was such an awesome win.
That was really phenomenal. I love David's explanation when you guys walked back and everybody was just quiet.
He's like, everybody's crickets. I was like,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So Alyssa, based on your interview or your answer earlier, I'm taking it you would never do a season of Survivor.
No.
Do you want to think about it?
Similarly, I would never do a season of Big Brother. So
yeah,
it's 2 totally different things. And like Big Brother is like mentally, like you are not yourself when you leave Big Brother. I would do it again though. I don't know why, but I would do it again. Survivor, absolutely
no. Desi's like, nope, no Big Brother.
Yeah, seeing these people from Big Brother, I was like, something right. I would never. They were not healed. I hope you're healed now, Alyssa, but y'all were not healed.
Yeah.
So I take it the commonality here is we're going to see you guys on The Amazing Race in the future.
Oh, I would love to do Amazing Race.
I wouldn't be good at it. I'm very self-aware of what I'm good at and what I'm not. I don't think I'd be very good at it. But.
Well, you know what? Know thyself.
I would do it. I would do it, but I don't know who would want to be my partner.
Well,
love that.
Desi, Alyssa, we want to thank you guys so much for your time. I know we've gone 20 minutes. I don't think that was our allowed time, but they didn't interrupt us.
Say anything.
Yeah,
Right?
so I'm going to just keep it pushing. You know what I mean? But we want to thank you guys so much for your time. We want to congratulate you guys on, in our opinion, an amazing season.
Yes.
Alyssa, you went from watching Big Brother and seeing you on this, it was like night and day, and you did fucking amazing.
Yes.
And
Thank
so,
you so much.
and then on the other hand, Desi, I am sorry that the final ended the way it did. I think you deserved a lot more. I think
you would have killed that final.
I personally think you probably win that final if you don't get eliminated or DQ'd right there. But I hope that if the timing's right, we get to see you guys both back on there.
Yes.
I think you guys will bring a
Absolutely.
hell of a fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I appreciate that. So nice.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed.
And as always, Desi, we know we've already had you on. Alyssa, if you'd ever care to join us for an unplugged issue, we would
I'd
love
love
to.
to.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be phenomenal.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we would love to. We'll send you a message and see what we can work out.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you guys again
Thank
so
you guys
much.
so
It was
much.
good to see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Hi guys, how's everybody doing?
We're good.
Good.
Danny, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
My name's Rick. This is my wife, Karina, and then Tony is our other co-host. Obviously, like you said, Challenge Fandom podcast. Guys, so happy to have you guys on board. Congratulations, first and foremost, on your guys' win. It was an awesome thing to see. And my first thing, it's not even a question. It's just, I want to shout out to Danny for doing the Kamiea at the finish line.
Yes. Yes. That is so awesome.
It was Ultra Instinct definitely on that.
I love it. Love it.
I love
That's
that.
awesome. Now, I got to ask right off the top, like, how did it feel? You get to the top of the mountain, and Danny, in your case, like you know that you're in first place, and Sarah, you're unsure of where you are, whether you're playing for the bank that you've already got or whether you're playing for it all. What's that feeling when you get there?
I think the best illustration that you could have is we start at the bottom and the weather's horrible. It's muddy. It's like cow manure and stuff all over the place. And the further you get up the mountain, it gets worse, right? You start seeing sleet. You start seeing snow. Everything looks crazy. But then once you get to the top and you're like almost above the clouds and you do a 360 view, and it's one of the best views you've ever seen in your entire life. And that illustrates exactly what that final was. It was super brutal, horrible, like anything bad you could think, any words you could think of the bad, that was it. But then when you got to the top, it was an experience and a feeling that you've never had before.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I hit rock bottom at one point. Like, based on the points we had earned up until that leg, I didn't even have to win. I just had to not get last. Mm-hmm. And when I got left in the dust at that puzzle, it was really demoralizing because I'm like, literally, you didn't even have to come in first. You just can't come in last. And you're getting last now. So, you see me at some point, like go over to the wall because there was like an overhang and I'm trying to get out of the rain. And I'm like, you need to get your shit together because you've been away from your family for 6-7 weeks. You're not quitting. How do you explain that? My son's going to watch this and say, Mom, why did you quit? And he's 8. There's no way he would understand that. Well, honey, I was cold. But, you're playing your baseball game and you're cold. Well, don't get out there and play. Like, how can you do that? So I'm like, yeah, that's not even an option. And so I'm like, all right, get your shit together. If nothing else, you're going to finish because you're going to finish. And that's what you do. And so, it got to the point where then, I pulled myself together and got up to the top. And I was really disappointed at the top of that. I'm just like, I really screwed this up. They were like, well, aren't you happy you finished? And I'm like, great. Like, So then it's going inside and seeing Danny and us like trying to figure it out. It's like two toddlers trying to our brains weren't functioning. And we're like, where is everyone? And like they basically spelled it out for us, and we're like, no way. And we're like, wait, what? And then I'm like, wait. Well, let me go back out and shoot that because I lost. You're telling me I just won?
I need a different ending to this. Yeah. Right? Oh, I love that. I love that. And Sarah, I really want to give you props because I know that this season was like really difficult and that final was really difficult on you. And even though you thought that you were in last place, you did not give up. You continued up the mountain. You finished it. You did what you had to do. And I think that is impeccable because a lot of people who, you know, being that far behind may have just quit and said, you know what, F it. The 15K isn't worth it. I'm done. So I think it's really incredible what you did. Yeah. Now, I'm curious, were there any elements of your guys' game that wasn't shown on the season that you thought should have? For like example, Danny, you had mentioned the Triple D alliance of you and Desi and Dom, but we never saw anything like that. So was there anything you guys felt wasn't shown but should have been?
I think for us, I think at the beginning of the game, Dom came to me and he said, hey, listen, you got Tyson and Sarah and Ben, they all won. They're probably going to stick together, but we need to have our own little thing inside of the Survivor Alliance. So it was me, Dom, Desi, Tasha, Shan, and we were trying to stick together, but Shan and Tasha ended up going home pretty early. Yeah. So then it became the Triple D, right? And we literally, like, we did everything. So you see Dom wins and Desi wins and then I win. So we did everything we could to position ourselves to make sure that we were safe. And they didn't show that. They didn't show the relationship that us three had. And we pretty much kept it under wraps too. Like, I don't think many people were aware that we were working that closely together. So yeah, it's awesome. Some stuff they left out, but who cares? I won.
They showed the most important part, right? You crossing the finish line. And then Sarah, I know, I was going to say, Sarah, I know it's the same with you because we talked to Cachet and they didn't show your guys' friendship for anything the whole season. And she talks about you so highly and like you're her best friend on the show. So I was curious to yours.
Me, Cash, Justine, and Cayla, we had this amazing friendship in the house. And I love those girls, like literally. So it sucks. Like they show one aspect of me. And at first I didn't understand why. I'm going, okay, wait, I win this season. Like you guys are showing me like being a jackass. And I've like have great relationships with a lot of people in the house. I can't believe you guys are like focusing on this. This is it. But then I'm like, okay, Sarah, wait, you're not winning anything. So how can they hype you up when you're not winning anything? And then reality shows aren't about everybody holding hands and singing songs. They're about controversy. They're about, so whoever's causing, like, you know, you can lay low and not have any beefs with anybody, but then they don't have content. And so when there's beefs going on and, you know, and at that point, like, I didn't care. I go, like Danny said, you go on to win the money. And so I guess if I have to be the villain out of this, because I personally don't feel like, and I don't think they would say either, that I was the villain in the house. But it definitely appears that way. And that's okay with me because I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm not trying to get more likes. So if everyone on the internet hates me, well, okay. And I guess I got to count my money by myself. You know?
I was going to say, I guess I'll just be $250,000 richer alone, whatever.
So yeah, it's like, personally, like, I don't care what Jill 78563 thinks about me because I don't think about you, Jill. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know Jill's handle, though. You know Jill's handle.
Yeah. It's actually Tony.
Right? Not this one, though.
Yeah, no, you.
You. Yeah, no, it's him. I wanted to interject real quick on this was I think no matter what, someone's going to get the villain at it in every season, right? It just kind of happens. But I think that's one of the big reasons why we like to do like long form interviews, because we know there's so much that happens beyond the edit.
Yeah.
And, obviously we would love to have you guys both on here in the future. With that being said, Tony, I know you had one more question you definitely wanted to ask.
Yeah. Basically, we know that you're going to be competing in the championship, but beyond that, would you guys be up to like doing the flagship or doing another Challenge USA if that comes down the line? Or are you guys sort of doing the final and then done?
Listen, I'm open to it as long as I feel like I have a fair shot in the game. Some of the previous seasons it's been more of like the main OG people kind of running the game and getting out all the rookies, all that stuff. Not really a fan of that, but if I feel like the opportunity is fair, then I'm definitely open to it. It also has to be the right timing as well. I do have a family at home. I got a little daughter. I just can't be gone, 2 and 3 months at a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly.
Ending though. Oh.
Yeah. So for me, I get done with Game Changers. I say I'm done. I come back for Winners at 4. I say I'm done. They call me. It's like CBS needs to lose my number, and everybody on the internet's like, yeah, lose it. I'm like, I'm going to. They're gonna keep calling. Oh, hello. Oh, CBS. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No. Yeah. It has to work out. I have a full-time job. And my family, as long as it works out. As far as flagship goes, I don't know. My husband was like, hey, when, behave when you're there. Like, there's no drinking. It seems like they do a little bit more drinking. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to get fired if I go on the flagship.
Sarah had some fun now. Okay, Sarah had fun.
We heard about dance competitions and like that you were like one of the funniest people on the season. So like they definitely didn't show.
Yeah, they did me dirty, but you know what? If doing me dirty gets me a $250,000 check,
absolutely
do me dirty.
Get that money.
Yeah.
Do me filthy.
Right.
Sarah, Danny, we want to thank you guys so much. We obviously have a lot more questions, but we got to wrap on this. But we want to thank you guys both for joining us and congratulate you guys both on a phenomenal season and on the win. Not too many rookies get to say they won.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, guys, congratulations and thank you once again.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And just for you, Sarah, I'm going to retire the Jill handle. It's no more. I'll deactivate it after this call.
What is it, Sharon now?
Yeah. Kathleen.
Right? Thanks,
have a great
guys.
day.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Holy shit, guys. That was fun.
That was a whirlwind of craziness. Yeah. I don't know if I would call it fun. That was like, I don't know, just hurry up from like one room to the next room to the next room. Like,
to be honest, I consider myself like Tyson, as when everybody else is freaking out, it makes me calm. So I was in my zone, stumbling, not saying words right. It was fire, guys. It was fire.
Nobody else was panicked. I was just like, oh my God, dude, like this is insanity. But this is what we asked for. We had the option to only talk to the winners, and we said we wanted to talk to everybody that we could, and they said, well, here you go. Right.
I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get to talk to the people like you mentioned earlier, like Tyson, Cayla.
And we actually did expect Justine to be in, but she actually wasn't.
Yeah, it happens.
And that's fine, but I was looking forward to meeting her. I love her so much. Oh my God. And she was incredibly impressive this season. So I was kind of hoping she would be there. But that just gives us an opportunity to reach out and see if she wants to do an unplugged episode with us and get a little more time with Justine anyway. So,
Can I just say that, like, after that conversation with Ben and Enzo, like, it really changed my perspective on Enzo from what I saw last night to what he was saying this morning. Because it wasn't even the words that he was saying. Don't get me wrong. They were all the right words, but it was the tone and emotion behind it that you could tell how sincere it was. It wasn't that he fucking quit. It was that he let someone down. It's killing him. And don't get me wrong. He has every right to feel that way.
Yeah.
Because it was a shit situation, but it did change my perspective on last night a bit.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree 100%. I think it was, like you said, it was the the emotion behind what he was saying. And I had said in the intro that like all I really wanted from Enzo was at least for him to just take responsibility for the situation he put himself in, and not just himself, but Desi, mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to quit, you're going to quit. But you took this opportunity away from somebody, and not just somebody, but somebody who had a really good shot at winning this final. So to see him take the responsibility that way, and to see him be so understanding about how Desi feels right now, it definitely gave me a different viewpoint. And we didn't see any of this in the edit. And so I don't know if it happened, if it was one of those situations where, Enzo just didn't really say much to Desi in the moment because he knew that she was upset and he knew that he had fucked her. Or if he was like very apologetic to her in person when they got back to shore and we just weren't shown that. I don't know. But the fact that he is owning it, and he said, he's apologized to her 1,000 times. He's going to continue to apologize for her. And he understands that he screwed her. That really like meant a lot to me that he owned that and was willing to say that publicly.
Yeah, no, agreed. Also, it didn't make recording, but you guys missed them wrapping, mom's spaghetti. So there's that.
I managed to get into the interview before everyone else.
Yeah, Tony was the only one that caught that.
Yeah.
We've heard he told us about it in between exit interviews, and we are immensely jealous. So we'll be reaching out to Enzo and Ben, maybe trying to do a group interview with them again so we can get another rendition.
We need a Benzo unplugged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know that the podcast doesn't have something that you can smell the podcast, but I do want to let you know as well. Enzo did let me know that he wore cologne for the occasion.
Yes.
You know what?
It makes us feel very special.
I just don't know how to feel about this whole situation, because one part of me really fucking likes Enzo a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I find him hilarious. On a personal note, I think I would get along. I'd want to go get a beer with the guy.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Totally.
On the other hand, like what happened in this final is just like, fuck, man, you really screwed the pooch for this girl. And it's good that he's accountable, and it makes me enjoy him a little bit more, but it's like, fuck, man, that's tough. And it's going to suck, because if these become staples, they're going to end up becoming a rivals partner season.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Enzo and Desi.
Yep.
Oh, God, that would be tough. No, I do agree, though. It's hard. Like, and I think that that's kind of like where the separation comes from, and we hear challengers say this all the time, where it's like, I don't like so-and-so on the season, but away from the show, like we're like best friends, and we go eat and we go hang out and we go on trips and we go get drinks and like whatever. And I feel like that's kind of like, my fan relationship with Enzo right now is like, I don't think that the challenge is for him. Especially when he said that he didn't know that there would be that much swimming. Just kind of tells me that he didn't really do much research, because most challenge seasons are packed full of swimming dailies, and there is always long distance swims in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Minus a couple of them. I think, like the Total Madness when they were on the snowy mountain.
War of the Worlds when they're in the desert.
Yeah, there were a couple of, but for the majority, there's always a really long distance swim in the final. There's always a lot of swimming in the dailies, or at least, water, being in the water and such. And so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I don't necessarily think that you're right for the show, but I do like you on TV, and I do like you as a person. I just don't think the challenge is Enzo's game.
Well, and he also knows what he has to work on. And he said like that specifically too, of like, these are the things that if I go back, this is what I'm doing.
Yes.
And it's all the right things. I will also say that I was 100% bang on that was the most animated interview that we had of the day.
Yeah. Dude, Ben is so much fun. Okay, look, I get why people were like upset with him because of the Survivor. I mean, I don't really get it, but I see what people say, and it's like, okay, whatever. I feel like people are being a little too picky on Ben for things that literally everybody does when you're like trying to win and you're running an alliance and like all of that. But he just had such a fun energy. Like he was literally just like smiling and bubbly the whole time. Like, and he didn't even get to run the final. He didn't even really have like, it's not like he won or anything like that. He got DQ'd right before the final started. That sucks. Yeah. And he still showed up here with a smile, with energy, and, and he's willing to do it again. And I think that is incredible. And I think Ben is definitely one I would love to see on another challenge season.
Yeah, and I think
go ahead. No, Tony, go for it because I'm moving on to something else.
Fine, then I will go ahead. I think that both Ben and Sarah, these interviews, like the small amount of time that we spend with them, is exactly why we do the unplugs. It's exactly why we go beyond the edit, is because like they were a lot of fun.
They were
a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. And I was going to move forward by saying into the next interview, which was with Desi and Alyssa. The person I get from, or the personality I get from Alyssa on TV is not the personality I got with our interaction with her, where she was very open and very, not over the top animated, but she was very open about things and very upfront. It didn't seem like she was bullshitting anything. And you could tell her and Desi aren't best of friends, but they still, worked it out, joked around and worked well with each other.
Desi straight said she's like, I didn't like Alyssa. And I was like, oh shit, is there about to be a cat fight in the freaking
I was waiting for Alyssa to be like, well, I didn't like you, Desi.
Excuse me, bitch.
What you think about them apples?
Well, but then it turned into an awesome compliment too.
It did.
It did. Well, and even the Sarah part, because Alyssa was like, I don't like Sarah. I don't want that energy around me, blah, 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 blah. And then Desi jumps in and like totally stood up for Sarah. So you can see those contrasting personalities between these two women. But it was so cool that they were able to sit in the same, conference room and compliment each other while still staying true to the game that they played. And I loved that.
I want to say the highlight of that to me was once Desi broke down why her and David winning that daily, because of the representation and the fallacy that, it's not necessarily a fallacy. I mean, she gave a percentage on it of the amount of black people that are not good in water and can't swim. And the fact that a black man and a black woman came together and not only won that, but smoked it. And for the representation, it just, I love that so much more because, like she said, when we interviewed her, she was 8 years old watching this. At home, there's a black girl or a black boy that is watching the challenge and saw David and Desi win, and they got that representation too. And that's so fucking important. And it might be one of my favorite parts of the whole season now, kind of hearing that explanation behind it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It literally, like, I have goosebumps and stuff. Like, it was an awesome win for them both. And to know that, and we actually heard this on our exit interview with David last week, was to know that they did such a good job and they did it so fast and so well that when they got up to the shore, everybody was dead silent. It was like freaking crickets. Nobody was cheering. Like, that tells me that every single person up there knew that David and Desi had won because of how fast they went, which to me makes it even more impressive because it wasn't like one of those situations where it was like, ooh, man, that was close. I don't know. It might be this person. It might be that person. Like, everybody knew exactly who it was. And that to me is just like, I couldn't even imagine what that feeling is like for them. And so I'm super happy for them. I'm glad that Desi got to be part of something like that because I know that it means a lot for her.
Yes.
And same for David. Like, that was, something he was trying to accomplish on Big Brother prior to the cookout because he was on All Stars for 22. And he actually just made a post about this the other day on his Instagram, which was extremely touching. If you haven't seen it, go listen to it. But yeah, it was just, that was so cool. And I loved that room with them. And we actually got a lot of time with Alyssa and Desi. So that was really cool. And I wanted more. I want more with Alyssa. We'll definitely be reaching out to see if we can do an unplugged with her too, because I think that, between doing Big Brother and then the challenge and, all of this, I think that there's a really good story there. And like you said, she didn't get the greatest of edit, especially like seeing her live in person, sitting here talking to her for about 20 minutes. It's like night and day, different people. And I would just really love to get to know the real Alyssa.
I'm going to be honest. Those two are out of, oh God, this is going to be hard because there's a lot of really good. Outside of Angela, Desi, and Alyssa are the two that I want to see come back on the challenge again the most.
For the females, yeah.
Yes. For the women.
That's so hard to say because like Justine, she impressed me so much.
She did love to see her come back. But at the same time, it's just, Desi was robbed of that final.
No, she was.
Because in my opinion is if everything happened the way it did with Angela and all of that, she wins this final. she flat out wins it. Not even a question about it. Alyssa, if she gets into this final, she throws a monkey wrench in everybody else's plans because of how well she performs, typically in endurance events.
Correct.
So, there are two people I definitely want to see come back. And don't get me wrong, I definitely want to see Ben back. I would like to see Enzo back, but Meow, you got to work on that swimming, bro.
Yeah.
You got to work on that swimming.
But I do want to
add him
credit
to
him.
the list.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
Of like 30 fucking people that need to work on their swimming. Yeah.
But I credit him for recognizing that he would need to work on that before coming back on the season, unlike majority of those other people who just continue to still show up and just like know that they're just going to lose the swimming challenges and fuck it, I'll just lose whatever. I like that he is very aware that he has work to do in that area if he wants to come on and be successful in the show.
Yeah.
However, I think the person I want to see back the most is definitely Danny. Like he did so good in that final. Like I was really impressed that he just kept going. Like even when Tyson was like pretty much like jogging up that hill and Danny's just like walking step by step. But that's what he kept doing, one foot in front of the other and just keep it pushing. Don't wear yourself out too quick. Don't let yourself get to yourself, right? And he did it. And he got up there. And what are the freaking chances that it's Sudoku, in which he had so much experience with because of him having to quarantine on Survivor and them giving them Sudoku books? Like, it was just like, it was perfectly made for Dan. It was perfectly made for Danny to succeed in this situation. And he took advantage of that and he did it. And God, it was so awesome to see him win. It was so awesome to see him up on top of that mountain and then him talking about that 360 view. Yeah. Oh, God. I couldn't even imagine what that felt like. Oh, my God.
Well, and, I am disappointed that the one question I didn't get asked because we ran short with Danny and Sarah was the fact that, who was more excited, you or Kiki, when you won? But I will assume that they were both equally excited about it. But speaking about that part of the X interview, when we got a chance to sit down with Danny and Sarah, is once again, I can see parts of Sarah's personality that we got through the edit, but the Sarah that we talked to today is not the Sarah that you saw for a majority of the challenge.
No.
It's very much more aware of what's going on, what's being said. Very much more not blasé-faire with her. What's the word I'm looking for? Hubris.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was where on the edit she always came off very over the top of being the best, even though she didn't perform that way, kind of thing.
Well, see, and one of the things that I noticed about talking with Sarah that I really enjoyed was that not once did she ever try to argue the fact that, she had hubris and that she, was, talking a lot of shit through the season and that she kind of got a bad edit. Like she owned every single inch of that. The only objection that she had was that the other side of her wasn't shown, which, we're very well aware here because of what we do with the unplugs and stuff, that there's always two different sides. And really there's 100 different sides to people. And this is a really harsh environment to put yourself in, especially if you have a husband and family and work and all this stuff at home. So I get that. And the thing is like, we've heard from so many different people that the edit that Sarah got is not actually how Sarah is 100% of the time. And that they really kind of did her dirty. So just hearing her say it, I think I would have felt a little different. But knowing that like a bunch of other people have said this consistently through the season, that like, no,
and
Sarah's
on Survivor
not really,
as well.
Yeah, that Sarah's not really like that. That's just the edit that she's getting. And then to hear her also own it and be like, you know what? Whatever. If that's the edit they want to give me, I don't care. I'll just go home and count my money by myself. I was like, yes, girl. Yes.
And you know what? To kind of add on to what you said earlier about Danny being the one person you most want to see come back on the male side.
For the males, yeah.
Yeah. How can I not second that when he fucking mentions Ultra Instinct right a fucking way?
Sure.
I'm so like, hey, you know what? Shout out to Marlon wearing your hoodie, trying to get, it's comfortable. It's cool out here. It's a great hoodie.
Is, yeah.
If you haven't, go check it out. BBG Streetwear.
We'll have it linked down below.
But it made me really kind of disappointed that I decided not to go with a Dragon Ball Z shirt now.
I know, right?
But when the unplug happens,
Dude, I'm so glad he wore that shirt. Like, what are the chances? He must have known that somebody was gonna like recognize what he did and call him out on it, and that's probably why he wore that shirt. But,
I'm so glad he did.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Also,
so perfect.
Great Halloween idea. Go as Goku. Have Kiki go as like Chi-Chi or Bulma or something like that. And
Yes.
just throwing that out there. Have your daughter dress up as a character. Just
I love it.
Little DBZ fandom happening right now.
I think Tony had something.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Oh, I was just going to say that I did not have joking around with Sarah Lucina on my bingo card for the day.
No.
But going back and forth with her was like one of the highlights of the interview because it was so unexpected. Yeah. But also making both Sarah and Danny laugh was like, check. Good to go.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed that neither me or Karina know about this alternate handle you have on Twitter. Where you're talking shit about people.
Jill.
It's where I go to get stats wrong.
I love how she just blamed it on you, though. She's like, it's got to be Tony.
And I immediately tried to pass it off on other Tony, which did not work at all.
Nope, she's like, no, you.
You should have busted out the buff. That's where you went wrong.
I know.
What I mean,
it's upstairs. I did have the shirt, though. I did a quick wardrobe change in the middle of exit interviews to wear my Survivor shirt for that one because it was the only one that was only Survivors on the interview.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're wondering if we all coordinated to wear black, the answer is yes.
We did not.
Yeah, we did. Tony was like, "I'm going to wear my black V-neck." You're like, "I'm going to wear my black TJ shirt."
No, I said I was going to wear my black TJ shirt, and then I started feeling self-conscious about it because I was like, I don't want any of these people to read my So for anyone listening or watching, whatever, hello. I have a shirt that says "Don't take care, hope to see you never," and then like the little dash TJ Lavin, right?
Which is a fundraiser shirt.
Yeah, it was. We did a fundraiser with TJ in our TJ Lavin group, and sold a bunch of shirts, and then we donated them to an organization in Vegas that helps like displaced teens and kids and stuff like that. It was a really awesome thing that we did, and I was gonna wear that shirt today, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want any of them to like read my shirt and then be like, is she trying to send like a subliminal message that she doesn't want to see us again, or that she wishes TJ had said this, especially like. Talking to like Enzo and stuff. I'm like, okay, probably best that I don't wear that shirt. I'll just wear my Challenge Fandom podcast shirt today because I don't want to do that. That's not what I wanted to do.
I am going to get a shirt that says "Doo-doo pies everywhere."
Doo-doo pies everywhere.
Might be my favorite quote. Another one that says "That motherfucker looks like Jesus."
That's the one, dude. It literally had me freaking crying and cracking up. But anyway, yeah. So. Awesome day of exit interviews. Definitely missed out on talking to Tyson. What about Tyson FaceTiming Alyssa right in the middle of the... I'm like, no, you're supposed to be here. What are you doing?
And then Desi texting Ben during the middle of that one.
Yeah.
I literally was trying to tell Alyssa, like, answer that. Just answer it and flip that fucking phone around. We'll interview him with you guys right now.
We've done it before. Remember when we interviewed Tori and Anissa called her and we ended up like being part of the conversation on the podcast of her and Tori like planning a night out to like hang out or whatever. That was so freaking cool. It's happened a couple of times. Somebody else it happened with too, and I can't remember who it was, but
I smoked too much pot. I don't know.
But no, that was so much fun. I did miss the people, Justine, Angela, Tyson, Dom, and Cayla. Oh, I was so looking forward to meeting Cayla. But from what I know, we may or may not have a tentative yes from Cayla on doing an unplugged. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that, because I feel like Cayla is going to have a lot to say, and I feel like she's going to have an incredible story. And I can't wait to talk to her about Amazing Race and just all of that. So,
I mean, yeah. And, you could look at it for the season as the MVP being like on the male side, Tyson or Danny, just for how well they did throughout the season, the consistency. Mm-hmm. And on the women's side, you'd want to lean towards Angela just because of how dominant she was. Yeah. But I honestly don't believe that there was one person from at least what we saw through the edit that read the game better than Cayla read it.
Yes, I do agree with that. I do agree.
Yeah. And so in that perspective, I want to know more things that she kind of saw or that we didn't get to see and how she read the game, because there were plenty of opportunities to throw her in that she fucking wasn't even brought up until the very end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I feel the same goes with, when we get Dom, Tyson, Angela, we'll get a lot more in-depth questions with them as far as their experience.
I think with Cayla, probably really quick, this is the last point I want to make, is I think with Cayla, probably the thing that got me the most with her, especially in this episode, was right before they were getting ready to start the final or whatever. I believe it was a confessional. And she comes on and she's like, these people have no idea what they're getting into. They are not prepared for this final, and I know it. And I was like, that's because you've done your research and you know what's about to happen, that this is going to be like the worst fucking 2 days of your entire life. Like,
I think Danny should probably take a little bit of the money he just won and invest in probably about 20 Sudoku books and send it out to all the other cast. Just throwing that out there. Just an idea, I mean, just, hey.
My wife, Kiki, said you might enjoy this.
Yeah, she said you guys need to work on your skills.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's great.
I really have nothing else to add. This has been a whirlwind of a morning.
I don't even know what else to say. Yeah.
I didn't think at any point that we would be talking to everybody at once, but it was a fucking blast. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Tony, you have anything you want to add before we close this out?
I mean, I just want to say, like, as somebody who's a diehard Survivor fan, throughout this season, to be able to do exit interviews like at all is one thing, but to be able to do exit interviews and talk to so many people that I have watched play their entire seasons has been absolutely surreal. So I'm really glad that we got the opportunity to do exit interviews. I would love to do them like in any format for either like the upcoming Survivor season or like to find a way to get the challengers on when they do their next season. Cause I know they don't really do the exit interviews the same way.
Right.
But also just like, how surreal is it to be sitting in a meeting room and not 100% knowing if like Bryce and Wendell are in there doing their interview right now, or if they're in the waiting room waiting for you to be done. Like,
right.
Shout out to the Purple Pants podcast and the Wendell Holland YouTube channel.
Yes.
They do their recaps and they tack their exit interviews right on the back of their recaps as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, like so much like breaking the barrier of watching on TV to sitting and having a conversation. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even just like previously to us doing exit interviews, listening to these people do exit interviews and now like being part of the process and seeing how it all works and being able to add our own little twists and stuff like that to how we do these exit interviews and how we publish them. It's crazy, guys. It's absolutely insane. It has been an incredible journey through Challenge USA. Make sure that you guys catch our roundtable that we're going to be coming out with. And then just heads up, if you don't already know, next Wednesday, the 21st, is the premiere of Survivor 43. And then Amazing Race is also premiering that same night as well. Now, the only thing I'm not sure of is if Amazing Race is before or after Survivor. I think it's after. But I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I just know they're both premiering on Wednesday, September 21st. And we are very excited for that. We are going to be, to my knowledge, we are going to be doing a Survivor draft fantasy season, just like we did with Challenge USA. So make sure you guys prepare to watch Survivor 43 to keep up with everything. The cast looks really good, and I'm super excited for this season. So yeah, make sure you guys don't miss that.
I second everything you guys said. It's been an absolute honor for CBS, Buna Murray, for them to include us in these exit interviews, as well as Smith House. We want to thank them all so much, the people we've worked with.
Absolutely.
It's been a true honor to be a part of this. And hopefully if there's a season 2, we're able to pick back up on this.
Yeah.
Because, outside of just doing it for the podcast as fans, which we are, it was fucking awesome to meet and talk with these contestants and get their opinions on things.
Yeah.
Also, keep an eye out. We're dropping a whole bunch of unplugs. If you haven't heard our previous ones, we just released Naya. Before that was CT.
Fire.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Fire on the. You know what? Forget about the CT one. Fire on the Naya interview, guys. Like seriously.
Yeah.
It's her story is insanely mind blowing, and she is so freaking open with everything. Like from her childhood to her teen years to her early adult years to the break and all the issues on the challenge and then her huge break and all her growth and then coming back. Like it was impeccable. It was another nearly 3-hour interview. And like, we had so much fun with Naya, and she told so many incredible stories and like owned every single thing that she's ever done in her life and just owned it with grace. And I love her. If you haven't heard that interview, it is linked down below. Make sure you go check it out. I promise you, you do not want to miss this one with Naya.
Also, can I just say, just scroll through our listings. You're going to find someone you really like and you're going to want to hear from.
Yeah.
So check it out.
There's a lot there.
With that being said, guys, I've got nothing else to add. So should we close it out?
I think we're good.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't have nothing else to add.
All right. Well, for myself, Ricky Hayes, for my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes, for Tony, Stats, and fucking Info Lance, we want to thank you guys for sticking with us through this whole season of Exit Interviews. It's been an absolute blast for all of us.
Yes.
We hope to see you guys soon. In the meantime, like I said, make sure you're following us. We're going to start putting out roundtables as soon as probably 2 days from now on this finale.
Yep.
We're going to start doing Survivor recaps as well. And then we've got a very, very, very special episode coming up on one of our recaps where we discuss the cast for Challenge Season 38, Ride or Dies.
Woo!
So make sure you're tuned in and subscribed.
We're also going to be doing a little bit of coverage on the documentary thing. It comes out here
Next Wednesday.
September 21st, the same day as The Amazing Race and as Survivor, because
CBS's
why not put
favorite
everything
day.
on the same night?
It's CBS's favorite day. It's CBS's favorite day.
I don't think CBS knows that there's other days of the week.
I don't think so
It's
either.
just, you know what? Wednesday.
Or even other Wednesdays in September. There's just the only option is the 20th.
They just wanted to see how we handled it by putting 3 things that we've already told everyone that we're going to be covering on the exact same night. Probably at least 2 of them at the exact same time.
They heard us complaining about All Stars and Challenge USA being back to back like that. So they said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. Last thing I want to toss in, go check out our Instagram. We are doing a giveaway right now for our 1-year anniversary celebration.
See this shirt?
What? 1 year. So we will be drawing winners on September 26th. So make sure you go and check out our Instagram because all the information for how you're going to enter, what our prizes are, there's going to be multiple winners and different prizes for each, different winner. So make sure you go check that out. Find out how to get yourself in the drawing. It's not complicated. There's 3 steps and it's super, super simple. Go check it out. There'll be multiple posts. We'll be keeping it up running on our page through the 26th. And then I believe on the 26th, we're going live to draw the
we're going to draw the
winners live on Instagram. So just keep an eye out for that. And other than that, we will see you guys on recap.
I like it. All right, guys. Love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Later.